In this part of the video, we will discuss the very jump act of the supporting actors and a jump entry of another local conflict. Out of nowhere, there are a lot of interruptions in such communities and societies that everybody tries to interrupt. Everybody tries to just say something and get involved in others' jobs. So here we see another person is entering, although we had some excuses not to show the face of that character, the person, for some reasons. So this is a guy here. I wanted to picture the chaos, the very panic, and the very dramatic entry of this person. He is one of the local leaders. He brings tension. He brings panic inside the scene. And all he tries to say is that he got the news that there is a girl came from the USA and she wants to do a school for kids. Without our information, she cannot do anything, or unless he wants to meet the girl very in person, face to face. So we have very conflicting scene here. The girl is in tension. The boy is in tension, but the boy doesn't show this supporting actor. He doesn't show the problem is there. He says, I'm going to handle this. Back outside the room, it's very chaotic scene. It's very panic. It's very tense scene that the person wants to get in. Yeah, definitely they want, but they can't get in. And here we have very narrow vision of the girl. I wanted to intensify the scene over and over. Right after the scene, we have a little down of the conflict, then another chapter of the real problem comes here. With the entrance of this main negative person, main antagonist, the character is Jaylon. He is here in this scene, so we see the different two visual aspects of the film, of the scene. The first is negative. He has very big intention in his eyes. The reasons I shot this scene with these very weird details, a lot of questions going on. Who is this guy came into the scene? What are these supporting roles doing? Why are they leaving the room? At the very first point, immediately, why is he offering alcohol without knowing the girl? That's all we had documents in hand. There's such a stupid act, such shameless act. So without any hesitation, the man enters into the scene and he just offers the girl, because he has that very linear mindset, very negative. Any girl from the West comes, those are interested in very dirty activities, very desirous, very lustful ideas, what he has, nurturing that in his mind. So he is entering the scene, he is just getting into, he's stepping completely out of his own limitation and out of his zone, and he's playing his own mind. Whatever is going in his mind, he sees that in the girl. On the other side, we see the girl is repeatedly excusing and apologizing for what is happening. She is just excusing the situation by showing a knife and calling that poisonous knife. He is bringing more threat, more risk to her life. Even before she was a vulnerable emotionally, she was trying to control, but now he is threatening that area, that not tightening that risky area and vulnerability into the death. And yeah, that's the final act of this guy for risking her life. Otherwise, she would have to respond to his demand. Right after she refuses his demand, even though he is risking her, showing the knife, poisonous knife, the man goes to another level, uh, threatening and making her into even more fear with physical violence. He slaps her on face. In this particular scene, I wanted to show that one little slap or physical violence could not take down any person. That is Sarah. But here, she's representing that she is in her monthly period. In that cycle, the blood pressure is too low, and any little pressure could get her down. Generally, we have this in female when they go through their monthly period. So it's very normal their blood pressure goes low. So any physical violence, any emotional violence could get them down. That's why this antagonist, as a predator, comes over and occupies the entire room, controls the room. He tries to overcome the entirely emotionally, um, victimize her, and tell dominant the situation and order her whatever he wants that should be done, and she should respond all positive to her to his demand. And most of the girls, those are the victim of sexual harassment and exploitation, they go through this situation in such disaster and even worse and worse that we cannot even think. There are a lot of points to cover and discuss about this main scene, main climax tragedy of the film. Based on some researches I did, I got some very immediate and front-hand information about whenever there's a very immediate, urgent accident or any attempt of sexual harassment. The very first thing those victims used to do was to control the situation for the interest of the very opposite, the attacker. If you go altogether against the wish and demand of the attacker, the sexual harassment attacker, the victim will go a bit more vulnerable and more severe, damaging situation. Rather, you have to calm down the situation. Usually, we could talk it very psychologically. The blood pressure should go a little bit down. Then, by that very exact moment, you can decide, you can use any tool around yourself. Um, However, this may not be the exact situation for every single person who is a victim of sexual harassment. But as one point of view, yes, you can apply this one. For example, here I show the available tool which was previously shown as a torture, as a tool for the risk and in escalating the risk and endangering the life of girl, which was a poisonous knife. Again, the girl thinks about the poisonous knife to access it, to handle it, and use that against the bad guy. And here we had lots of problems, the timing and the light, electricity, the some of the other resources. Here we disclose one point of the drama, that it was a misunderstanding, it was a misinterpretation of the culture. Any girl from the West is with a very open mind. They could go with any act of your choice, or they could respond to your demand, even if it's a sexual demand. So here we disclose that one point of drama. I had already designed a complete sequence of the action, which I was about to direct that, and we had the plan to shoot that one sequence of the action, and between these two characters, Jaylon and Sarah, to defend against this sexual harassment and sexual attack. But for those reasons, we could not apply that, so I just simply went for hitting Jaylon's head at the wall, and only just as a threat, matter of threat, show the knife, the poisonous knife, to him to just stop the level of violence or sexual attempt or harassment, to stop that, not to go to another deeper level of the very severe violence. Here we show the innocence of the girl, Sarah, as she is in the field of education, development, and design of the programs and applying of those programs. She's not into this violence. She did not have that in mind, how to deal with violence, harassment, and very immediate sudden shock. So she's a little bit shocked with the situation. She cannot keep the knife in hand, and now she is to confirm if Jaylon went away completely out of the door, and situation is calm and under control. But however, she is still under shock. And here we have the supporting supporting characters. Those are questioning themselves, why did we leave the area, why we came out of the room, because we didn't have any trust on Jaylon. That was a meeting, but I mean, this is how we show sometimes unexpectedly, unplanned, we make very huge mistakes. It seems very simple, but it has very deep down root to very major conflicts. So that's the reason I showed this scene, this very little scene of leaving these boys the room and the office and going away from the girl and going and leave them alone, and with a person in a situation that she cannot even know how to handle that. That's a very one type of the problems. and a scene that shows how we can make mistakes. Back here, an internal scene, we have a thrilling scene of the girl. She is under panic, and now, moment by moment, she feels the reality of what she went through. Because in that very exact situation of the attack or the accident of anyone, you will not feel it very deep down there. We are very exact. But later on, you think over and over, and everything is coming as a preview, as a replay into your mind, and you feel how disaster that was, what you really just went through. So she goes through a very, very mental torture. It's a very sensation of what went wrong? What was the causes? Was that her clothes, the way of her outfits, the culture she brought from the West here, her misunderstanding of the situation, her acts, and her maybe her behavior was one of the causes. She behaved and she treated everyone very openly without knowing their mindset, without reading their cultural differences. That was one of the mistakes. After she got a little bit control of the situation, she calls the boys to come into the office. And however, she is still in mental trauma and she is suffering what she went through. And that is like coming every now and then into the mind. That's a review. As a replay of the film, that is coming every now and then into her mind. And she is struggling to get out of that memory. By the end of this scene, we bring a hope that is a call from her fiance for the approval of the budget again. So they have one other financial resource flowing into the project's again on the run, and she's trying to forget everything what she went through. However, she's standing as a hero and handling everything by herself. She's not trusting anymore anyone, but trying to make a team in having control of situation with her own hands, and she's trying to stand by her own vision and belief, not blaming anyone, without taking any further disastrous problem. On the background, we can see the boy who invited Jilan. He is completely under panic. He is in trouble and he's thinking what just happened in between because his mind is not clear. His mind is still in trouble. The reason is in his mind, he has invited the problem. He has called the problem to come in. That's why still we have the drama between those two minds. The clear mind of Sarah that's going up and up, and the very unclear and doubtful mind of the boy, the supporting actor, who just invited the trouble. This was her mistake. This was her way of treating others with very open behavior to everyone. Now she is standing by her own decision, standing for her own words, and she has the final decision to run the project with this team without complaining. We complete this scene here, and let's meet at the final episode of the commentary on the film. Thank you.